You want to know what a comp is. And if you're a home owner and you want to know the value of your house, you want to know what a comp is. So a comp is simply a comparable sale. In other words, what house has sold within a reasonable time frame? We like to get it within 3 to 6 months. If we can't get it that close, we'll have to back up a little bit, but we can't go way back. But a comparable time frame, a house is comparable to yours, comparable in size, square footage, comparable style, comparable in the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms. We'll compare the house on as many points as we can to try to compare apples to apples. It's the old analogy. We don't want to compare apples to oranges. We want to compare your house with a house that's completely different in a different subdivision, that may be sold in a different market, something that's sold with a bigger lot. We want to try to compare apples to apples. And here's what a lot of people seem to miss, and that is the market is always changing. Houses go up and down in value, a lot of times depending on interest rate, but economy and other factors can play in too. So the key is this: what is your house worth now in this market based on other comparable properties? Because here's the big secret. When buyers are out looking for houses, they're comparing. They're saying, okay, we got $350,000 to spend. What do we get for our $350,000? So they're comparing all this stuff. They're comparing the size of the houses, the neighborhoods, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, all that kind of stuff. So you have to be able to understand how that works to get an accurate reading on either the house you're trying to sell or just the house you're living in and you want to know what the value is, or when you're trying to buy a house, you want to know how that works. And I have to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of Zillow's Zestimate. Zillow does not know if your countertops are made out of granite or plywood. They many times don't know whether your basement's been finished. A lot about your house they don't know. It's simply a data-driven valuation that many times is way off. So that's why you need to go a little bit deeper than the Zestimate that Zillow provides. So let me say it to you like this. Let's say I've got a rock here. Now here's my rock. See my rock? Now I love my rock. My rock has sentimental value to me. Maybe, I don't know, we'll just pretend maybe I got this rock from my grandmother. This rock has been with me for a long time, and I'm sentimentally attached to my rock. Now, how does my attachment to this rock factor into the value of how much my rock might be worth? Because we're going to try to figure out how much is this rock worth. Has no value at all. Has nothing to do with the value of my rock. What about the fact that it's it's a fairly heavy rock? It seems to be a good rock. Does that play in? Well, not exactly. So how do we know? How do we know how much my rock is worth? Well, we know because maybe there are other rocks similar to this rock in size, shape, the content, the makeup of the rock, color, and maybe other rocks like this have sold for $500. Could be then my rock is worth $500. If I can find several other rocks that are pretty much like this rock that sold for $500, then my rock very well could be worth $500. No matter what you think of my rock, doesn't matter. If other people are paying $500 for a rock like this, that's what my rock might be worth. Now, reality is, if you went down to the peddler's mall, you could probably buy a rock like this for about $2. That's probably what my rock is really worth. It's worth what the market says right now it's worth. And right now, if people are paying $500 for a rock like this, it's worth $500. If they're paying $2 for a rock like this, well, then it's worth $2. It's all about what people are paying right now in the market. That's what a comp is. That's what it means. And that's why it's worth understanding for you as a property owner, as a buyer, and as a seller. Hope that helps.